Welcome back, everyone. I'm Laura Scott, partner at Adaptivate and the Sydney office lead. And today I'm joined by Lene Marks, our Global Head of People and Culture. We are here today to celebrate and reflect on International Women's Day. The United Nations theme this year is March Forward, with a focus specifically this year on not only reflecting back on how far we've come, but looking forward on what is needed. At Adaptivate, we pride ourselves on creating an environment where women feel valued, giving them the ability to create meaningful careers. Lene and I are going to talk through this today. So welcome, Lene, and thanks for flying out from Melbourne to be here.
Thanks, Laura. It's great to be here.
So Lene, you have been on quite a journey and been here for 7 years.
Seven,
sorry. I would love you to give us your journey, please.
Absolutely. So my career journey has been anything but linear. I have started 20 years ago, and I've been working in people and HR and talent development for the last 20 years across various industries. I've always been passionate about creating environments where people can thrive, and that brought me to Adaptivate. And I was lucky enough to 7 years ago join Adaptivate, and since then have been creating a people and culture strategy where we create an environment where people can build and develop a career.
Brilliant. And you absolutely have done that.
Thank you. Well, on that note, you've had a very interesting growth story here at Adaptivate. I'd love for you to share that.
Absolutely. So I have been here for 6 years this year. I started back just after I'd had the twins. I had 18 months off and decided it was time to get back into business. I actually applied for a full-time role and put it to Doug, Paul and Alex of could we make this work in a part-time capacity. I was one of the first part-timers that we took on, and we absolutely made it work. I was fully utilised on client and embedded in their team for the first 18 months. And I was part-time right up until 2 years ago. And it was a great journey for me as well to tell my friends and show my children how you can have a really meaningful career and still be a mum.
Absolutely. I love your story.
Okay, Lene, so I'd love you to reflect upon your journey over the past 7 years. And can you share some of the most impactful moments that you have experienced at Adaptivate?
Absolutely. It started right at the beginning. I'm working with Doug, Paul and Alex to create Adaptivate's values and embed them into everything that we do, not just then, but also still now. We are absolutely a values-driven organization, very proudly so. And the next thing that comes to mind is the challenges we faced during COVID-19 and the pandemic and lockdowns and having a global team dealing with different challenges at different times. Although I feel like we came out of that more connected than ever.
Couldn't agree more.
Yes. And so one thing we did specifically is on a Friday afternoon, we'd run a brown bag session. I think they started as brown bag sessions where we focused on development. And it turned into people sharing their passions and hobbies and things that bring them joy. And we learned so much about one another during that. And it became a highlight on a Friday.
It was absolutely my highlight. So I didn't work on a Friday, and I would always have my 3 kids set up in the backyard on the trampoline, zip them up and in, and I would set up my computer and look forward to that 4 o'clock where we would get together. And there was an architecture,
photography, oh my gosh, there were sessions about beer making, cooking.
It was fantastic.
It was really amazing and really just connected us as a team. And I think we're still feeling that today.
I agree. I think the other memory for me from a consulting perspective is the way that we set up persistent teams across the globe. So we have never been more connected than we were then, in that we had a team that was from Warsaw, the US, Australia, and sure, we had to work on funny times, but I don't think people minded there because it was a break. And we worked on proposals from across the globe, bringing all of our minds together. It was pretty cool. And we got to know each other, and consequently, like, our global reach now from a knowledge share perspective is exciting.
It's very exciting. I'm going to add another one here, is seeing the evolution of our career development framework
Mm.
over the years, and our performance review process, and how we're really focusing on what we are doing to supporting people in their development.
Yeah.
So it's not just about, have you done something or tick in a box exercise, but really giving people meaningful feedback and support to develop their careers at Adaptavate.
And it's at Adaptavate and beyond. We absolutely don't
Absolutely.
just look for
Yes,
who are you going to be for these next few years. It's how can we grow you
as a
as
person.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask you a loaded question.
Yes, go for it.
Okay. So International Women's Day is such an important moment, but it's also a complex one.
Yes.
It's about the celebration, but also about acknowledging the work that's still to be done, as I said in the intro. What are your thoughts on the importance of International Women's Day from an Adaptavate perspective, if you look inwards?
I'm going to answer that by telling you or sharing with you the answers I got from our team of female team members when I reached out to them this year, seeing how they wanted to celebrate and what we could do to make them feel more valued at Adaptavate. And the answers that I got from all of the females that I spoke to were, there is nothing more that you can do to make me feel more valued as a woman at Adaptavate.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Which, I mean, I'm actually speechless about that answer, and so proud of us as a team that we have our female team members feeling like that.
I agree.
So what we are doing to celebrate and acknowledge, because there is still so much to be done globally about women equality in general, our team are looking outwards instead of inwards, and they are feeling really passionate this year about looking how we can support other women outside of Adaptavate who are not as fortunate as we are in the positions that we're in within Adaptavate, and feeling the way that we're feeling. So our team are looking at opportunities at the moment to volunteer outside of Adaptavate, giving our time and supporting women.
Brilliant. And I think time is the thing that we can offer. And the brilliant minds. So that makes me really proud as well. Lene, as part of your role as head of people, I'd love you to explain your roadmap over the next year for equality and how we're going to embed that within Adaptavate.
Yes. So we're very focused over the next 12 months to ensure we get more women into leadership or supporting women to develop their careers into leadership at Adaptavate.
Right.
Globally, we're seeing that women still only has about 20% of managerial roles, even though they have a higher percentage of degree qualifications. Wow. So there's still a lot to be done in getting women into those leadership roles. And we want to focus on developing our women into leaders.
Great. And I think it's timely as well, having just come off the back of our talent development review with some of the leadership appointments being women, which is especially, I'm biasing Australia, it's really exciting.
We're very excited about that. We want to see more of that in the future.
Absolutely. And hiring as well. We have some really exciting new hires starting over the next coming months.
Yes.
And we have some women that have incredible talent coming into our team from a junior level, but I absolutely see them growing up through the ranks.
And that's our challenge, right? Is keeping those women. We're hiring them, with the right intent and keeping them as we have, we have you. Yeah. And I want to say that you're not the only female at Adaptavate who's been able to have this growth journey. There's quite a number, which I'm very proud of. And we want to replicate that. We want to do that more.
Yeah, brilliant. Lene, you've been in this business for 20 years. Yeah. More broadly, what have you seen change with diversity and inclusion over that time? More broadly, not at Adaptavate.
Yeah. That's a very good question, Laura. I think the first thing that I'd say we've seen over the years change is education. Like there's a lot more things that we talk about more openly and that we educate our teams on, not only, at Adaptavate, but everywhere. There's a lot more freedom of expression, I'd say. Unfortunately, we've seen a bit of a regression of that is also impacting equality specifically. We're seeing the impacts on D&I which is unfortunate because it feels like we're taking 3 steps back for every 1 step forward.
Right.
I think what is important is that we keep marching forward,
Yeah.
is that we keep setting an example, that we keep talking about these things to our girls, but especially our boys.
Yeah.
I think as parents, both of us are raising boys,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to speak as a mum on this point. For me, it is really important raising young men who not only respect women,
Mm-hmm.
but who are able to be allies and speak up for women.
Absolutely.
And I think that is a real change that we can make as a generation in educating our youth. And hopefully that would then come into the workplace as they enter the workplace in the future.
Yeah. So there's a famous saying that if you can't see it, you can't be it. In the more broader world, what does this mean to you?
It means that we need to give people a platform to be seen and set examples for others.
And little people.
And little people specifically. But the more we remove rights, the more we take that away from people, the less diversity is going to be seen. And the less people are going to be able to identify with different cultures. In the essence of International Women's Day, it's about little girls seeing a diverse range of people and knowing that they can be that as well.
Brilliant. Which I hope and that we are doing for our children, which I'm sure we are.
I think so.
Well, Lene, look, this has been fantastic, and you've got a fantastic vision, and you are absolutely the right woman for the job. Thanks, to Laura. Guide us through this next year. Personally, I want to thank you and the people team for the hard work that you do to support not only the women but the men. And I really don't think we differentiate between women and men here. I personally absolutely feel like we are just a team.
Absolutely. That's why we lovingly call everybody Adaptivators.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So thank you to you and the people team for supporting us. Pleasure. Really excited about your journey and the journey that we're going to be going on over the next year to make this such a big emphasis and drive for the business.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me today.
Thanks for being here. Thanks, everybody, and looking forward to seeing you next time.